Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the America Agency. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson, the American Agency. So excited to be on with you today. Have one of my favorite people on planet Earth, the pioneer of the IUL takeover, Mr. Devon Martin, our incredible, I don't want to even say sales support. He's like our support partner of one of our absolute favorite IUL and companies in general, NLG, National Life Group. So super excited to have today, to have Devon on. He's got a bunch of big reveals, industry-changing enhancements, and ways to help get your clients protected faster and you compensated quicker. So we love NLG. We're super excited for this call to have him on, a couple reveals. And then on top of him just now releasing a bunch of stuff, for, I don't want to call them IUL nerds. I feel like that's just an IUL specialists, right? For you guys, Devon is an IUL savant and can go answer in details, real life scenarios, underwriting hiccups, things that you want to learn more about. So he's going to do that. Back half of the call, do a IUL Q&A from someone that oversees, I could say thousands of IULs processed a month, if not more. But before that, we've got a huge incentive release that you're going to not believe. I mean, one of the biggest things to come to not only our company, but the industry, I'm going to reveal to you in a few minutes. So if you're on the call, I love it. Thank you for joining me. One of the best things you can do, one of the ways that you can gain value from a group, from the groups you're associated with, or gain status, I apologize, is by gaining value, by giving them value. And this call will be valuable. High-level IUL training, high-level insights, and one of the biggest reveals that's ever touched this industry. I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. So take the link above, Join America Live, in YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all live concurrently right now. So by all means, share those links out with your team, group chats, WhatsApps, Telegrams, GroupMes, Slacks, Discords, wherever you guys congregate. Let them know. Join America Live. Jump on right now. And if they're not in IULs, I got it. But the thing I'm going to share with you in a few minutes is going to absolutely, you're going to go, that's insane. That is the most crazy reveal we've ever had. And it's literally going live in shortly. I'm going to tell you it all, but I'm not going to tell you what it. Get people on here with you because they're going to say thank you for introducing this and thank you for inviting us on this call in a few minutes. But without further ado, let's jump through some updates, and then we'll have the big reveal, and then we'll have Devon, and then we've got Q&A, and then a moment of Zen. Just so much to cover today. So there's my boy, Devon Martin. There we go. We're just going quick. And Tasha's like, we're going. Turn it down a tiny bit for me. Discount right now. Thank you, Integrity Connect leads, all mortgage protection and IVR gemstone leads, complete and incomplete, on sale starting. Is tomorrow the 1st? Yes, tomorrow's the 1st. Why don't they get them to put them out on Thursdays? Don't they know that I'm talking to people on Thursdays? But tomorrow, Fiesta 26. Guys, mortgage protection has been a cornerstone of our company and this industry, leveraging the incredible value, home equity, and the fact that the banks do not care about you as the homeowners. They just want to protect themselves. So leveraging the mortgage protection angle of sales, whether you're utilizing whole life, IULs, or term ROP, which I don't know, Devon may be like, term ROP doesn't even exist anymore, Grady, but IULs have filled that void. But a mortgage protection sale is one of the hardest, most impactful sales and angles you can take. So take advantage of the lead discounts, 30% off Fiesta 26. Turn down a tiny more. My YouTube channel, we did a humble plug. It's a different volume. Yeah, we did a humble plug at the end of last week. We just hit 1,000 videos. If you see that in there somewhere next to my name, we hit 1,000 training videos, and that was something that we never planned on doing. We just started talking to people, started interviewing people all the way back to my office that we used to have up in Mesa, Arizona many years ago, and started interviewing people and sharing it and then putting them on YouTube for people that couldn't attend live to watch. And that has exploded into now a weekly show and additional content. We try to do our best to find the absolute best and brightest in the industry, interview them, ask them what they're doing. And from that now is turned into 1,000+ YouTube videos. And this video right here with Devon Martin will be on live next week. Thank you to the team for doing such an incredible job. But just, if you're not subscribed, that's fine. If you're watching, subscribe and watch, but we're only out here to help you. There's, 1,000 videos of high-level life insurance sales training. So if you're not hitting the numbers you want or have the goals that you have for yourself yet, plug in. And if you are, there's nothing, nothing that a chef wants more than to keep their knife sharp. So plug in, happy to help and support. Just Insurance, our new coursework partner. Excel is tremendous. We've had an amazing relationship with them for so many years. But as time progresses, we're looking for additional tools to get more people licensed. And some people kind of get hung up with the lack of support. And so Excel is free. FFL, we cover the cost of that, write a big check every single month to cover that cost for you. It will continue to be free, but we found a new company that does a 40 hours per week live class. They have hundreds of fourth grade, as the CEO explained to me, fourth grade education level videos to educate you on what it is. So it's very, very simple. And then take the practice tests that are done at a very, very high level. And then from there, if you have things you get stuck on that you're not passing on the final exams that you're taking before you go sit for the real test, you can jump on with one of their instructors who, as they explained to me, the instructors are, I would call them test nerds, if you will. I've used that twice now in 7 minutes. They can pass any state insurance license in 22 minutes. So that's the guys that are teaching this stuff. They know it at an insanely high level. They, can't guarantee anything, but they're seeing people that go through it all and plug in, and they are passing their test the first time at 93%. That would have been incredibly helpful to myself that took it 4 times. And many people I've heard have taken it 9 times. What did John tell us last week? Someone took it like 30 times. I'm like, oh my God. So if you're struggling, check it out. It's traditionally $200 for the course, one-time fee, but we as FFL negotiated down to $39. So one-time fee, getyourinsurancelicence.com/FFL. Great new service. Again, we love Excel. They're not going anywhere, but if you need an additional more, if you're not a good test taker, this is a great service for you as well to promote out to your team. So a couple more things. Ignite. How many days, Jade? 28? 28? 35 or 28? 28 days. 28 days away, 134 speakers coming across stage. I will tell you right now that at the very end of the Ignite we did last year in Arizona, which was an amazing event, the total number of registrations was 1,804 people. Today, that was on the day of, at the very end, that we make them register as they're going through the door. Today, 28 days out, we're over 2,000 people registered. The venue holds 3,000 people. It's going to absolutely be an incredible event. I don't make any guarantees other than the guarantee that you will not be successful just by attending Ignite, but that every successful person at FFL will be at Ignite trying to get better themselves, right? So an incredible event, high-level curriculum masterclass format this year. If you're unfamiliar, we've got a lot of great stories, a lot of emotion, a lot of inspirational, motivational stories we've done at our conventions, and we've done at our trainings over the years. My goal with this one is to be super calculated from why simplified life insurance, why leads, tech, right into one call close Ringba, one call close final expense, one call close IUL, one call close different lead types, all the way to business management, to referrals, a huge objection panel, a Hall of Fame panel hosted by our #1 producer, just high level sales stuff for you guys that are trying to break through, that are getting stuck. This will be the absolute best training, a boot camp style training you've ever gone through. And then the back half of the day will be led by our top managers and recruiters doing recruiting 101, social media marketing, all kinds of stuff. So guys, my plan is to make it the absolute best training you've ever been, not the best event, the best training. And by doing the best training, my goal and hope is that it will be the best event. So get yourself registered, igniteevent.com. Talked to Stan Smith a little bit ago. He says he's gonna have over 200, if not 400 people there, and they're flying out from Chicago. So if you're anywhere in the Southwest and it's drivable and you're not coming, you got to really check yourself, check your pulse, and check your goals, and look at your kids and make a decision to show up, because that's how you're gonna get better. So heavy stuff, I know, but this is what it takes to get to the next level. So without further ado, all right, so let's slow down for a second. Is this I think that's the last slide. All right, good. Okay. Put me back we're giving the reveal. We're going for it. All right. Okay, hold on. All right. So in this industry, in life insurance sales, we are independent contractors. We use a Schedule C. Some of us are real crazy, like to get LLCs and S corps and C corps and corps, and have these ambitious goals. But this is totally, you eat what you kill, right? We talk about a bow staff and a hatchet and going out into the forest, and what you kill and bring home to mama is what you get to eat. That's commission-based sales. And it's been a world that we've excel at. There's no one that does more volume, that at a higher level with a higher average producer and has impacted more lives and more families than Family First Life has. At over 4 billion issue paid since inception. This year we'll do well over $1 billion. How far? We'll find out at the end of December. Initial goals are 1.2, $1.4 billion of issue paid volume. And all of that done on the backs of 1099, self-employed contractors, which is a great way to be, right? But a caveat of that is you don't have the protective, warm bosom of group coverage and group benefits that you get from parking your work effort underneath an employer. And that has been something that we've just said, it is the way it is, right? Make money and then you can get your benefits and you pay for things and tax deductions and Schedule Cs and all that stuff. And we've done an exceptional job of guiding people along the way. Well, one of the consistent things that we've heard of people not being able to leave their current job or career and start an entrepreneurial-based sales business is they can't leave their benefits. And so under the vision of integrity and the goals of what they have for creating an environment that like we've done with FFL, that no one wants to leave, right? We're at, we're going to do $1 billion this year and not because we don't do what's absolutely best for people, right? People are like, FFL with that 145. I was like, yeah, the only commission rate change that we've ever made was that we used to be a top 140 company, and now we go to 145. That's the only compensation change Sean has ever made in the history of the company. So in that methodology, we're trying to create an environment where you can plant your flag, you can cement and rebar it into the ground, and you can know that what we've done for the past 10 years, we're going to do for the next 10 years. It's just how much of a piece of that pie do you want to take? But on top of that, we understand that people want to get started here, but they have reasons why they can't. I got 4 kids, right? I need insurance. I need things that I buy it myself or integrity, et cetera. But as the self-employed entrepreneur, you've been forced to go out into the marketplace and figure it out on your own. We understand. Well, today, that all changes. And now we've got the slide. So Integrity, our parent company, is launching, and I'll just go through it, the Integrity Health Plan, a first of its kind health insurance plan for the independent agent. Let's go. So see, I get, where's my eyes? See, Jade, I get my better eyes. Basically what it is, it's as they say, a benefit that only they could build, because it's for independent agents with group style access to health coverage, not as employees, but a part of something bigger, as this says. We're going to get it. So group style access, 1099 freedom, the combination, help me out here. There we go. The combination doesn't exist. Yeah, correct. Great slides. Keep going. Next slide. So here we go. This is literally, they're launching group health insurance at the absolute, I got to be careful with the words because I'm not great. I'm good with words. I'm just not good with the best words, as my HR director stands over my shoulder. This is unlike anything that exists for anyone, anywhere. And basically, they have created the Integrity Connect Association that we will then be able to opt into with a click of a button and the submit button. And now we can be part of the Integrity Health Plan, which they are saying that across normal, health insurance rates are up to 50% cheaper. So basically, benefits made simple, exclusive to Integrity, industry-leading health plan available for individuals. So you as the sole producer. So many of you guys, if you're still on your parents' coverage, or you guys are out there shopping the marketplace, or your entire family, affordable and high quality. You get literally an Integrity branded health plan card, and with your whole family, just like when I go to the urgent care, when my son, I thought, swallowed a Lego, and then we had to scan him, and they did the whole x-ray and everything, and then they were like, we can't see it, but you now need to sift through his poop for the next week. And I was like, Cameron, I'm telling this story on a live call. I was like, Cammy, I didn't find a Lego. He's like, maybe I didn't swallow it. I was like, oh my God. So yes, but I had to take my health insurance card to urgent care and deal with that whole situation. So that being said, that's the perk. Like that, now we have access to all of you agents but this is exclusive to FFL and to integrity-based agents. Now, FFL, we're the place to be. So next slide. So greater peace of mind, benefits that don't break the bank, preventative service covered at 100%, nationwide provider network, no co-insurance, HSA eligible, a dedicated team, like a full, like they are building out a whole team to do this for enrollment and claims, and no open enrollment period. So you can literally sign up anytime. So we're going to have people that are going to want to join us that are going to then want to become insurance agents with us. And whether they sell one policy or 5 or 10 a week, a month, whatever, they now are eligible to participate in the Integrity Health Plan. Like this is unbelievable. Like I'm so proud for us and for this, and so grateful to Integrity for offering this to us. Next slide. 3 steps to better coverage, complete. And so there's some like 3 health questions that then you've got to answer, right? Because it's a group plan. But some simple ones that, like, if you have significant health issues, they would impact you at other places where you're trying to get insurance. But for the mass majority of people who are working and actively selling insurance, you should be good. Asterisks. I'm not, again, this is, I got the slides. Don't hold me accountable. Grady said, right? You complete the questions. If it's 3 simple health questions, receive 3 affordable plan options that are based on deductible. So your deductible amount, just like with any health insurance, is going to determine your monthly cost, and choose a plan that fits, and then you can submit payment. And I believe, like, if you have a current insurance plan, you can pick your cancellation date, and then you can pick your start date for the Integrity Health Plan. So they can line up so you're not double paying. And it's just an unbelievable now benefit that at the group rate for us as agents, that is up to 50% cheaper. Now, insurance is based on state. It's based on tiny bit on your health, and a tiny bit on like the zip code you live in. So whatever zip code, like if someone in Alabama has a cheaper rate than you do in California, well, that's just going to be the way it is, because the cost of living. I mean, I don't know anything about health insurance. I sell a lot of life insurance and 0 health insurance. And here I am talking about health insurance. But this is just an incredible addition to us as agents, as managers, as recruiters, as business owners, that we now have a benefit that's an employee benefit, but with 1099 access and no limitations. There'll be 2 ways to get in. There's going to be a website. This will be launched, but I want to tell you first, right? So I'll tell you when it's going to be released here in a second. But there's going to be 2 ways to get in. Obviously, you can go through with Gateway into Integrity Connect, and then your exclusive benefits await. Log in or register for Integrity Connect. My benefits tab, where they've got a bunch of benefits too. So like on top of this benefit, that we've got E&O insurance up to 50% cheaper. There's like Disneyland tickets and Nike discounts and enterprise and all kinds of other stuff that I need to explore more. Honestly, I have not reviewed it enough. But select my benefits tab, and then you can explore the benefits and saving. But that's going to be in there as a benefit. If you have access to Integrity Connect, you have access to this health plan starting next week. So drop some fire emojis or an HP or a yes, or let me know how you're feeling. And but this is literally launching. They've been working on it for a long time, I found out. And we're gonna have some more information on it as it progresses, but it's coming, and it will be ready the first week of May. And now you have access to the highest of quality health insurance backed by Integrity. And one of the things they shared with us is like, this isn't like a commissionable product. They literally negotiated at economies of scale the absolute lowest possible rate. So for every agent out there, that we're always conscious of money from a tax standpoint, from a expense standpoint, from an investment standpoint, that this will be the absolute asterisk best price versus what you can get out there in the market, because you're a member of FFL, we're an integrity agent, and we have access to the Integrity Connect Association, which by being in that, which all you gotta do is click a box and say, I would like to be in it. And then boom, now you get access to this gigantic group plan. So yes, big news, massive news. This is amazing. I agree. Amazing. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. I'm super excited to announce this to you all and for us to have access to this. Any more slides we got? That's it. Okay. So tell me your thoughts in the chat below. If you want to click out of that screen, I can see Devon now. Tell me your thoughts in the chat below. I'd love to, are you excited about this? Anything that this has impacted you? I heard from a lot of, my agents talking about how 90% of employers, 90% of people stay. I'm going to read the quote. It was better. The guy wrote it and I was like, that was good. And that we're employers. I get a lot of text message. Sorry, guys. Where'd it go? Too many text messages. There you go. Employees will stay with employers 90% longer if they offer health insurance. So just a huge option, a huge thing. Why would someone? Not that people we're not doing the numbers we're doing because people are starting and leaving. But why would you ever leave Family First Life in this environment if now, right? The benefits we offer from the high comp, bonuses, trips, trainings, lead accessibility, zero costs, etc. And now health insurance, guys. We're doing everything we can to make this the absolute best place we can for you, and we'll go from there. So thank you. If you just came for the big announcement, great. If not, well, we got my man Devon Martin coming on here in about 1 second, and I'm going to do my final commercial. Devon Martin is an elite partner in this business. An elite partner of someone who is vested and focused. And I can share this. I mean, let's just bring him on, and then I'm gonna love on him, so we'll keep it on the recording. But this here's Devon Martin from NLG. Now, hold on, Devon, how you doing?
Great, I'm great. How are you?
Let me love on you further. I want it to be on YouTube. So, all right, hello everybody. Grady Polson, the America Agency. Super excited to have Devon Martin on with us. Devon Martin from NLG is. He's not just a carrier rep or someone that you send, challenges to. He's someone that has a vested interest, not just in our business, but at the same time in his own. And what that means is that when we started with NLG, I believe the first year we did something like a couple $100,000, and you were our carrier rep then. And now I'd love for you to tell us what the numbers, but our agency alone, FFL America, the American Agency, we did nearly 20 million with you in 2025. And to see that progression and your support is a huge part of it. And so I just love, we have these like quarterly updates at NLG. You're one of our absolute favorite carrier partners and focused on, you're true to love FFL, you're true to us. And that's what, as you guys are continuing your careers in this business, this is a man you want in your back pocket. Not someone, don't complain to him a bunch because he's quick to get stuff done. But at the same standpoint, when you're trying to get a policy pushed through, you're trying to get a rate reduction, you're trying to do something. Devon's your guy because he bleeds green. And that's a fun place to be. So without further ado, Devon Martin's got a bunch of updates, and we're going to dig deep into IULs today as well. So without further ado, there's my man, Mr. Devon Martin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Grady. You?
I'm so good. What more? What more can we do? How, all kinds of progression we're having. So
I love to see the green too.
Huge NLG updates. And that's what we love. We love companies that are looking what we do from a volume, looking what we do from a sales standpoint and going, listen, we've done it one way for a long time. But if you guys who are moving the numbers want something changed or improved, we're willing to do it. And that's where NLG lives. And so we're super excited for all the updates today. And let's keep rolling.
Yeah. And that's actually a perfect segue, Grady. Before I do that health insurance announcement is huge. And somebody said in the chat box, that's a significant recruiting opportunity. So I think that's fantastic. When you said there was a big announcement and incentive, I didn't think that's what it was going to be. So in all seriousness, that's really good for all of you all. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's exciting.
With all that said, I'm blessed, honored, and always happy to be here. And Grady, whenever I wanted to access your agents and train and get in front of you guys, you're so great about doing it. So thank you for having me, because I know you guys could have anybody on this call. I do have some exciting announcements. And before I announce all of them, I want to say that we appreciate the relationship with Family First Life. When you guys give us feedback, we do everything we can to take it into consideration and actually implement it. In corporate America, it's always about time, money, and resources and prioritizing projects. I can tell you that when I got feedback about our simplified issue IUL, we dropped quite a few projects just to push that ahead and get it into your hands faster. And quite honestly, FFL is a big reason why NLG chose to enter into the simplified issue IUL space. We came out with Rapid Protect in October. We're tweaking it and making it better as time goes on, which is what I'm going to talk about. Before I do that, I did drop a link in the chat box. This is specific to Family First Life. We're hosting bi-weekly trainings for all of you. I have my underwriters on the call. I have somebody from claims. I have somebody who developed our agent smartphone application, which you should all have downloaded. But please sign up for those trainings and attend them when you can. But with that said, I'll just get right into the announcements. And Grady said it earlier, we're going to have time for a Q&A. And when I do a Q&A, I don't want you guys to just think me of a National Life Group rep. I want you to ask me all your questions in general, even if it's not something NLG specifically related, because I have worked with IULs forever. Grady said it, and I'll own it, and I'll take it as a compliment. I am the IUL nerd. So there's not a lot I don't know about the IUL product, and as you all know, I'm very transparent and honest. If I don't know the answer, I can get one for you. But I have a pretty good grasp on all of the knowledge. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Share screen. Do I have to do this one by one? Oh, I can do entire screen. Sweet. Okay. Share. So you guys can see the tabs, right? Right now I'm in the National Life Group Rapid Protect Accepting ITIN. You guys see that, right, Grady?
Yeah. Just zoom in and try to fill your whole gray screen if you can. A little, even more if you can. Yeah. All the way.
That is as big as it looks for me. So I don't know what it looks like for you guys, but I'll just talk through it. So when we came out with Rapid Protect, it was only for Social Security numbers. And we realized that you guys had the appetite for ITIN clients. Within a matter of a few weeks, our underwriting did their thing. We had actuary look at the risk of it all. And now we can accept ITIN on our Rapid Protect simplified issue. And that's not necessarily new. That is as of April 13th, but I'm showing it to you guys now anyways. I also want to unpack our signature method. So we are coming out with pin to sign for our signature method. We don't have that option yet, but we are coming out with it. I would say probably end of May. What we do have for you right now is you guys are able to click the face-to-face signature method when you're meeting with clients, even when it's virtual. So you do technically have to give authorization to the client for them to sign as far as giving over control in a Zoom meeting, but you guys can select face-to-face. This is better than pin to sign because you don't have to send something to the client, have anything held up in the application. You can just click sign and you're good to go. This is for all products, even our Flex Life, the fully underwritten products and term, as well as Rapid Protect. So we know that there is a desire for pin to sign. Until we get that, I want everyone to know that you guys can click the face-to-face signature method inside of the e-app, even though you're meeting virtually. That was another huge announcement. Let's
back up. So first off, the ITIN is a huge component of our rapidly exploding Latino market. We're probably over 6-7 million a month issue paid coming out of the Latino market. Luis, Digna, Elizabeth, Javier, just a huge, tremendous boom supporting that market. And there's a lot that are working on getting Social Security numbers and have ITINs at this point. So that's a massive value to have there. And so that went live. And then the pin to sign. So to be totally transparent on a nationally recorded line, the e-sign face-to-face, I've had agents get terminated from other carriers that did that. And you guys are like, no, please do it. We understand. We trust you. We know you're doing what's best for the client. But they were like, I can't, the lady can't get the email or something. There was a hiccup. And she's like, and you guys are like, no, it's okay. We understand if you're not face-to-face physically, you can still click it to get the app pushed through. How did that come about?
So transparently, it came about because our signature ceremony, when we made a change, didn't get great feedback. So we made the strategic decision for now until PentaSign that you're able to do the face-to-face signature method, because as we know, the agents will take the least path of resistance.
Correct.
Yep.
So awesome. Makes it so much faster.
When PentaSign comes out, this will be replaced. So you're going to want to choose PentaSign instead of face-to-face when you're meeting virtually. But as of right now, you can select the face-to-face signature method.
Awesome.
Yep. Gentle reminder on Rapid Protect. Ages 0 to 60. Face amount is 50,000, 50 to 500,000. Already an immediate advantage. We're one of the very few that I know of that go down to age 0. Technically, it's 2 weeks old and out of the hospital. But here's the biggest, most exciting announcement. We now have a quick solve illustration for Rapid Protect. So for those of you that have run illustrations with us before, you went into Foresight, you did all the information, you got this really pretty PDF. If you guys don't want to take that route anymore, you don't have to. You can keep it as simple as possible. And when you go into our portal, you'll see the Rapid Protect solve. And then boom, you put in the fewest and least amount of information as possible, and you're able to run the illustrations. And also, it'll take you right into the e-app after you run the numbers.
Perfect.
I'll show you guys a quick quote tool on that. But I also wanted to just show you guys a gentle reminder as well. These are the entire questions we ask with Rapid Protect. We ask the fewest questions in the industry when it comes to our simplified issue product. And again, we realized there were some other things that we had to tweak, one of which especially being our illustration system. But with all that said, those are the huge new announcements I have. And I'll go ahead and pull up the quick quote tool to give you guys a little insight on it.
From launch, I mean, if it's been 17 days, what are you seeing as far as uptick in app count, production?
I've seen, on average, about 20 to 30 more app submits per day. And when it went live, we had 19 people submit an application from the quoting tool. Obviously, we want more. Obviously, it can never be enough, but we are seeing a lot more business. I just think that there's a lot of little details we're not aware of, which is why we're on this call right now. But we have seen a lot more traction, not near as much as we want, though.
Got it. Yeah, it's. I think as you progress, you just become. We solve these extra. It's picking up extra sales. You know, you've got your core group of people that just love you, that are producing at a significant high level. They're expanding, training their agents. But now, if you've got ITIN, I love the 0 to 60 angle too. We've got a lot of people that want it, that are selling children's whole lives, that are selling other, juvenile IULs. But you guys with Rapid Protect can come right in, and put a $500,000 IUL on a 2-week and a day, on a 15-day-old, and put something in place that a lot of parents want now with the future. They're trying to, with the excitement of IULs, especially with kids.
Correct. Exactly, Grady. Spot on. Mm-hmm. So when you guys run into the website and you select Rapid Protect, this is literally what you'll see. You run your quote, you type in the name and date of birth, smoker or non-smoker. You can choose your option. Go ahead, Grady.
Screen. Actually, you're
you can't see the quick quote tool?
Yeah, now we can. Perfect.
You can? Sweet. Let me make it a little bit bigger too. So it's as simple as this. Smoker, non-smoker. You can do your death benefit amount, or you can choose protection focus or cash value focus, death benefit, allocation, approve the number, get quote, and then it takes you right into the e-app from there. So this couldn't be more simple. And I have to give a shout out to Jamie Chirio. He was a huge help with all this as well. But again, we realize what you need in order to send business, and we do all we can to take that feedback and actually implement it and get it into your hands as quickly as possible.
Awesome. Love Jamie.
Jamie's a great guy. Those are the announcements. Easiest signature process in the industry, most simplified illustration tool in the industry. We ask the least amount of questions, and we want your business if you haven't got that impression yet. So those are my announcements. I'm open to any questions, any comments whatsoever, even if it's something not regarding Rapid Protect.
For sure. And so guys, as we start here, please put some questions in. Devon's is incredibly busy. Running ballpark. What are you going to oversee this year in production? Do you believe?
This year, we expect about 40 million in target premium commission.
That is a ton. So that's part of the thing. But what I would love is, as we see the production of electric cars, we'll go that direction. Everybody's trying to sell an electric car, an electric truck, an electric van. Everyone's trying to get in this business. At the same standpoint, right now, everybody is trying to get into the IUL space. And this company's coming out with an IUL. This company's coming out with an IUL. This company's coming out with an IUL. NLG's been around forever. And I'd love, just for those, because we got a big group of new agents that, as we continue to grow, we're contracting thousands of agents a month here at FFL. That's how we're going to do over $1.2, $1.4 billion of issue paid volume this year. Can you give a 30, 60-second highlight reel on NLG, just for those that don't know why they should look here first versus, other simpler type products, why the Rapid Protect was built to compete with those other simpler products, but there's still the backbone. You have your superhuman giant IULs. Give us some stuff about NLG, and then please put questions in the chat, and then we'll start reading them, and Devon will answer them. But
it's the history and story of our company. We were founded in 1848, which makes us over 176 years old, 76 years older than Disney, that is. We have the #1 selling IUL in the market every quarter, every year. Our living benefits, which is life insurance you don't have to die to use, cancer, heart attack, stroke, we're in all products in all 50 states. If other carriers say they have them, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. I promise you they don't compete with ours. Our illustration tool, our technology, our actual report of our PDF can't be touched. And we're a mutual company, which means we're not going to screw clients over after policies are issued. And we don't have to please the stock or shareholder. We're mutual. We answer to our policy holders. And most people end up getting their own IUL with National Life Group because we simply have the best product. And you get me. Humbly, I think I'm the most responsive person and hardworking person out there from a carrier representative. So I also have to throw myself into that mix as well. I state that very humbly, of course.
As well said. So, all right, let's start reading some of these questions. Please do not let this time just go by without getting an answer to something. Why does this exist? Can you explain the difference between, the cash accumulation account, life insurance? Like, what are some IUL things that are confusing to you? Because if they're confusing to you, they're probably confusing to other people. We generally don't ask questions in the round when we're doing a sales because we don't want to confuse people. But at the same time, this is education. We're doing training right now. And so if we can, I think you're answering the question for Cody. Can a grandparent be the policy owner for a juvenile who doesn't live with them with the Rapid Protect IUL?
On Rapid Protect, no. On Flex Life, yes.
Okay. Could you please go over how to do the face-to-face signing again when you're on the phone with the client? Not when you're on the phone. They need to be on Zoom.
Technically, it has to be a video call, even if it's for 5-10 minutes. But I did post a link right there that gives you all the visuals right below his comment.
Rob, Zoom or Crank Wheel is another, or they can't see their face. So yeah, just use Zoom, or you can use FaceTime. Just use FaceTime on your phone. Just FaceTime the client. And that's been super efficient. Ed Allens asks, keep the questions coming, guys. Let's make this time, the absolute most functional we can make it. Otherwise we'll let Devon go, and I don't want to let him go yet. So when would you need to flip from Rapid Protect to Flex Life before I submit? Also, if someone gets declined for Rapid Protect, can I then resubmit under Flex?
I love that question, Ed. So if you have a client who hasn't been in the United States very long, let's say they're here less than a year, we can't look at their driving record, their credit score, if they've been paying their cable bill, if they've been going to their doctor, you might have to pivot to the fully underwritten. Keeping in mind, fully underwritten doesn't mean paramed. It's still non-medical. We just ask more questions. So as far as when to pivot, I'll show you the knockout conditions in a second. It's just as simple as if they've been in America for a long time or not. Other than that, your average American, Rapid Protect and Flex Life are pretty consistent across the board. You're going to get one of 3 outcomes when you submit Rapid Protect. At the end of the application, you're going to see congrats, you're approved, which is obviously best case scenario. You're going to see sorry, you're declined. If it says sorry, you're declined, you're not going to get approved any product with National Life Group. The third option will say you're ineligible for this product, but you could get approved if you went the fully underwritten route. I have not seen a case be ineligible for Rapid, resubmitted to Flex Life that was declined. And by the way, The option where it says you're ineligible for rapid, 85+% of the time, Family First Life agents are submitting it at Flex Life, which is a lot higher than we expected, and that's great news. But I have not seen somebody decline going over to Flex Life from Rapid. Pop-up question, can I just simply copy and paste the application? Unfortunately, no. You do have to complete the Flex Life application beginning to end, but end of year, we'll probably work on a way to make that easier for all of you.
Like that. We like easy. And I love the question. It says, is it really simplified issue? Well, if you're approved at the end of the app and paid on the next commission run, we'd call that simplified issued, right? That would be.
It is. It's 100% simplified issue. 100% of your applications, you will get a decision at the end of the app. Approved, declined, or ineligible. It really is simplified issue.
So it's a little vague question Quentin has, but what are you seeing that is causing Rapid Protect app to convert to the traditional application? And it would just, to make it, it's too many factors, but it's going to be health, predominantly health or build or medications or driving record or MIB report. Pick something, right? But is there
I will use the Lego. I'll use the Lego situation in all seriousness. Grady had a child, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase this. You had a child that went to the doctor and had to get looked at. So in that situation, we're only looking at certain things of a client with the simplified issue. Fully underwritten, we're asking more questions. So the more situation and the more factors, we can make that decision. In Grady's situation, his child might have been ineligible for Rapid Protect because we need to see what he went to the doctor for. We're not looking at in that big of a detail. So in Grady's situation, that could be something where it didn't approve on Rapid Protect, Quentin.
That's very insightful. Come on, Cameron, stop swallowing Legos. But thank you. All right, where can I access cap rate information? Lane asks, cap rate information on your indexes and past performance for those as well. Lane coming with the heat. All right, we'll talk about cap rates, Lane, which is important. Yes, but Devon, we'll do some cap rate education.
I love that question because we're not shy about our performance. And if you don't show your rates as a company, it's probably because you have something to hide. If you go into products and interest rates, you can see the website, Grady.
On the screen, no.
Okay, it should show in a second if it's not.
Boom, there we go.
It is? Okay, cool. If you go to products and interest rates right here, it'll show you the caps on all of our business that has been issued. So it'll show you the current rates as well as history of rates. We are not shy about showing our rates because we have nothing to hide. Again, why would you get an IUL with National Life Group? It's because you know that it's actually going to perform long-term for your clients, and you don't have to apologize about doing business with us later. So products, interest rates, and it's right inside of our portal.
Awesome. Great question. Vince Gonzalez, are there any advantages to the client in death benefit, living benefits, or cost of premium when using a Rapid Protect simplified versus Flex Life fully underwritten? Are there any advantages to the client in death? It seems a general question, but
I like it. So in any situation, a fully underwritten product is going to be better than simplified issue. To give you a direct answer, on average, you're going to see about 25 to 30% higher cash value growth. I'm going to lower that. You're going to see about 20 to 25% higher cash value growth on the fully underwritten, and the target premium is going to be about 15 or 20% less on the simplified issue. Your living benefits are obviously going to be higher because you're putting more premium into the policy. So you're going to see higher living benefits. But yeah, Vince, the fully underwritten products will always be better than simplified issue. The good news is just run the illustration. It's really easy to go back and forth to see the performance between the two.
And it brings to light a question, right? Our methodology is we serve the masses in Middle America who has many agents. Now, John, are you looking at something under $200 a month or over $300 a month? We're serving the masses, right? The largest pool, 180 million people who are truck drivers, construction workers, and looking for something quick, fast, and simple. They're not home a lot to meet with a paramed. They don't remember what doctor they went to. They don't know what medication they took when, and they just want to get insurance to protect their family they love as fast as possible. And that's where our simplified issued model fits in and checks the boxes. Now, as time progresses and need allows for, that's where the fully underwritten boxes are welcomed. So just, our job is twofold. One, protect the client, but also get paid. And I don't mean get paid like it's grotesque. I mean, you're a business and your job with buying leads and time invested is to get yourself compensated. Simplified Issued allows for that easily. Obviously, do what's always best for the client above all else. But when the client says, hey, I need a policy real quick, can you get me some protection or fill out this simple questionnaire and I got $180 to spend into this, Rapid Protect checks all those boxes and we can get it in done because you've been calling him 17 times and you finally got a hold of him on the 18th time you dialed. This isn't something we're going to go chase him down for fully underwritten parameds and attending physician statements and need him to go do an EKG because, moving on. So
and a quick story with that. I get asked this question all the time. This piggybacks perfect off of you, Grady. When do I use Rapid? When do I use Flex Life? So I sold my home in Dallas, Texas, and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going the apartment route because I don't want the stress of a home anymore. I needed insurance to move into my apartment. I could have went with Geico, State Farm, got extra flood insurance, extra fire insurance. I didn't want any of that stuff. I wanted protection right now. So I went online, I went with Lemonade, and within 3 minutes on my phone, I got a policy number, I got the coverage I needed, sent that to my apartment, and I got my keys. So we live in a day and age where people just want something right now. And if it's a less quality than something of waiting longer, so be it. I just want something right now. So your Simplified Issue is great for clients who just want coverage immediately, exactly like what Grady was saying.
Hashtag go Lemonade. That was nice little.
Awesome. I don't get any benefit from them for saying that.
We're people helping people, Devon. That's all we're out here doing. All right. Great question from Mo. This is, we got some detailed ones. Client denied coverage for criminal record, but showed court doc saying it's been dismissed. Do I submit that to underwriting and redo the application?
So Mo, if it's a recent decline, just attach the court documentation in the portal and ask the underwriters to open it up again. If this is like a year-old case, you are going to have to resubmit the application.
Awesome. All right, Rashonda Bird. If a client has a lump sum, $10,000 to put in their IUL policy with a focus on max cash value, what is the best way to do that? How do we do that? And should it be split up in any way?
So you can't just do a lump sum inside of an IUL. You have to pay ongoing premiums. But regardless of lump sum or not, the best way to maximize the cash value is minimum death benefit max cash value and an increasing death benefit. That's going to maximize your cash value. You're not going to be able to just do $10,000. You're going to have to do ongoing payments. If they have $40,000, we do have a rider that can take a single premium amount of money, and NLG will spread it out over 5, 10 plus years to avoid any taxes, as well as getting the policy funded the right way.
Yes. Correct. Yeah, very good. Yes, of course. You lump sum. I did that actually. I put in 20 to start my IUL, and now I pay 5 a month, but it got that jump start to start with it. So that's a good question. But IUL basics, yes, it's a monthly cost that people are in. My simple way I try to explain IULs versus FIAs. If you've got some money and you want to grow it and create tax retirement income, that's a perfect IUL product for time. You're usually younger and you've got time for it to grow. If you have a bunch of money and you want to protect it, that's where an FIA comes into place and you put it in there, and that way you'll never lose the basis. So it's like, I have a lump sum FIA, I have recurring money, and I want to get a lump sum IUL. So it's some simple stuff. What is the max death benefit for Simplified Issued? Bry Henry, who's a stud. You want to remember that dude's name. He's an absolute killer.
$500,000.
$500,000. There you go, Bry. I can't see the other questions up there that are from YouTube and Facebook. If you want to just put them on the screen if they're appropriate. But the ones that are like that one right there, Children's Whole Life up there. Yeah, show that one. Children's Whole Life. Is it possible to get a 2-year-old with autism covered? Takes no medications at all.
Autism is going to have to be 7 years or older. And the reason why, it's hard to diagnose definitively autism for anybody younger. So autism, they generally have to be 7 years or older. Let's talk about the clients that fit that age range. If you're able to do what a child should be doing at that age, then you should be approved, no problem. But autism, 7 years or older.
Got it. The one above that's good. Do that one. Yep. Comp always an important question.
10% more on Rapid Protect. So whatever your writing level is, add 10% for Rapid Protect.
So said another way, you get paid more when you sell Rapid Protect.
Yes.
There you go.
Thanks, Grady. You're the marketer. Thank you.
What's the one? Yeah, push that one. I mean, just as long as there's no swear words, they're asking the questions, they put their names out there. What do you say to someone who is afraid of losing money in an IUL because of the non-guarantees?
I love it. So I love it. You have to figure what they're comparing it to, whether that's whole life or stock or anything. First and foremost, please don't call IUL as an investment. That's just waiting for a chargeback to happen. It's not compliant. But with that said, spin it in a positive way. Sure, IULs are non-guaranteed, but if history repeats itself and you're with a dependable company, it's going to do higher than what's illustrated for. And this is a big reason why owning your own policy is great. I have mine. Mine's illustrated at like I think a 5 or 6% return. I've had 8+% in my IUL. So even though it's not guaranteed, that works in your favor because it could do better than what's illustrated. And at the end of the day, you can never lose any money because you have that 0% floor.
I want to touch on that more. That was phenomenal. And this is a great question. So this is a philosophy thing. There's many, there's an understanding of who we serve, right? There's companies out that they'll buy term and invest the rest. Guess what most people do? They buy term and invest nothing. So they gain no cash value. They don't even sell term with ROP at that company where you could potentially get your money back with no interest gain. And the philosophy is most Americans are not great savers. Client goes, you know what? Why am I going to buy this $100,000? Why am I going to buy this $10,000 whole life, Grady, for $100 a month? I could just save that up. I'm like, John, what do you have in savings right now? About $2,200. Okay. So you're 64 and you have $2,200 saved up right now. And that's great. John, you got to understand, most Americans are not great savers. So what most people do is they put a small bill in place to alleviate the guilt and doubt they've got to feel on the 29th of every month that they need to put that $100 under their mattress to save it for a rainy day. So what most people do is they buy a policy like this that's got a death benefit attached, and I'll expand on the IUL, so they don't have to think about it. So they know that their wife or their children or their husband is protected. That's the same philosophy here. Most people are not going to save anything. They don't save. They piddle along until the end until they retire or they can get Social Security, and then they pick up a part-time job or something. So that's where the IUL checks so many other boxes, because God forbid that person does die yesterday. Always kill them yesterday, never kill them tomorrow. Just a sales tip. They died yesterday. Today, what's Mary going to do? Right now, with an IUL, they have the life insurance, death benefit. They have, God forbid, they didn't get sick yesterday, cancer, stroke, heart attack, critical illness, chronic, etc. Today they can access the living benefits, and when they don't die, this policy is going to grow and create a cash pool that they can then access if they put enough money into it at the end of at the retirement age. That they can pull money out with tax-free retirement loans. That is the benefit. That's what we're marketing, right? So there's many thoughts that people will have and these grandiose ideas. Chase them. But as salespeople and as business owners and as marketers, right? Do you have an IUL? Have you implemented this status? And that'll help you, give you conviction when you're communicating with clients. Now, granted, these are exceptionary, statements, right? Most people understand. They know they're not a great saver. They understand the value of life insurance. They didn't know that living benefits even exist. Most clients don't know that. So please talk about those more, because it's an incredible access to money if, God forbid, you do get sick. And the fact that you can build some money in there and it'll continue to grow. And yes, it'll fluctuate up and down with what the S&P does. But, we look over a period of time, the S&P has been at 7% over the past bulks of 10 years. And that's the floor. Now, you're going to have down times, and then you're going to be followed by up times. Unless you're betting against the U.S. economy, it is a good place, with asterisks across, and my HR director in the room, to have a product as an option, as one of the pools of things that you're saving for your retirement into.
And remember, unless your security is licensed, you guys don't have a license that can lose people money. So you can't compare it to a stock or anything necessarily. But if you have $100,000 in an account and you lose 50%, you have to have 100% return just to get back to where you were. And at the end of the day, Grady's spot on. We paid out $125 million last year just in living benefits as a company. So in 1 year, we paid over $125 million, because the only thing more expensive than actually dying is surviving an illness at the end of the day.
I mean, which is terrifying. Take your vitamins, work out every day. You got one life, guys. Scroll back up a tiny bit, Tasha. There was a good one I wanted to ask him. We're getting a lot of questions. I appreciate that. Do that one. The one above that one. I don't know the answer to this, and I'd love to you, because you would probably know the answers. Can this replace a 529 plan parents use to save your kids' college?
So you can compare it. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. Yeah. Go ahead, Grady.
Isn't it 529 is like a 401k? It's kind of like a government mandated type program that you can use to save specifically for college expenses, correct?
Yep, I'm going to tell you I'm not a CPA or a tax professional, and you guys should talk with one. With that said, a 529 plan is basically a college savings account. You can compare the benefits between the two. You can say IULs don't have to be put towards medical expenses, or school expenses. It doesn't qualify for your FAFSA. 529 plans do have to be put towards college expenses. So if you have a child and you fund a 529 plan, if they get a scholarship, if they choose not to go to college, which is happening very often, you're going to pay taxes on all that money. I'm not a tax professional, but I can tell you this. I'll just answer the question directly. What I've read is that after the 10 years the 529 plan is established, you should be able to transfer into an IUL. Check that with a tax professional, but that's what I've read.
The benefits to IUL too, God forbid something does happen with health-wise for the child, don't they have, they stay insured, and then at the 5 marker times, buy a home, get married, 30, 33, and is any of that a factor where they can increase coverage?
They can increase coverage if they put the guaranteed insurability rider on there. But again, we go up to $5 million non-med. So if they wanted to increase coverage, we could just take their word for it, or just a simple form to increase the coverage, as long as their health didn't change.
Awesome. The one up there, can INLG be one more? This is a great concept people love to talk about with IULs, is be your own bank, where you can take loans out, fund your own car payments, etc. Can you touch on that for a tiny bit?
I'm going to be very transparent with all of you. In order to accomplish be your own bank or infinite banking, you have to use participating whole life. There's a lot of courses and intense training around that. Could the IUL potentially be your own bank? You can ask 10 people what be your own bank is, and you're going to get 10 different answers. What I think of be your own bank is I borrow money out, I get charged a rate, and then I get a better rate than I borrowed my money out on. So in that example, absolutely, because your IULs could have a higher return. In order to truly accomplish infinite banking, though, you have to use whole life. But yes, you can borrow money and put it back in and hope that you get a better rate of return on your money. So yes, IULs could accomplish it. Just be very careful how you market that, because you don't want to overpromise anything.
Very smaller section of our clientele, but something, yes, do your research, get educated, read books. 1035, do that one. Up. Lane's coming back with the heat.
1035 exchange for simplified issue. So you can do a 1035 exchange into the simplified issue after it's been issued. So you can't do it at the beginning of issue, but you can do it after issue.
Cool. All right, go for it. Living benefit is 80% entire policy, or just a protection focus?
So it depends, Mo. There's a spectrum. I could have a heart attack and be up and walking in 3 weeks. I could have a heart attack and need open heart surgery. The more severe the living benefit, the higher the payout. The best thing to do is just simply run the illustration, because we have a projection that will show you what the living benefits are. There is no set percentage. I can tell you, generally speaking, terminal illness is when you have 24 months or less to live. That's the most severe. We say that being 75 to 93% of your death benefit. All the cancers and heart attacks, there's a big spectrum. So just run the illustration to gauge what the numbers would be.
Awesome. All right, 2 more, guys. This is a big one. Is there a maximum time frame that NLG must meet to pay the death benefit claim of $1 million? I've heard that it takes longer to pay out larger death benefits versus death benefits, say 100,000. That's a client question.
So I don't know the answer as far as what we're legally supposed to do in order to pay out a claim on a death benefit. 365 days comes to mind. It doesn't matter the size of the payout as much as it does us getting everything that we need. If you're ever in the 24-month contestability period, we investigate the claim. Everybody does. Outside of that, I've seen us pay claims within a couple of days. I've seen it take months, because we might need information from the doctors or certain people. So it just depends on that side of the house, Vince.
Got it. Last one from, what's that next one right there? That one. Living benefits. A customer has pancreatic cancer that he will live only months. What is NLG giving him the check?
Outside of the contestability period, if you're only going to live for a few months, you'll qualify for terminal illness. If we get everything we need, we pay out the claim within 24 hours. Mailing a check or ACHing the money, either way.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, guys, contestability period is let me back up. Actuarial science is the philosophy of very smart people analyzing health, build, weight, habits, medications, and determining life expectancy. And based on those charts determines the predicted rates at which of risk insurance companies will take and how low they can go to price with a pool of people, expected to have a pool of people, and how long they will live. So if based on that, they're approving you for a policy based on all the factors they have, if your client sadly passed yesterday or is getting super sick inside of that 24 period, it's an unreasonable response. So there's either negligence in some capacity based on the client, based on the agent, and so they're going to investigate it, right? They're a business, and as such, they're guaranteeing payment, but only within the questions are answered yes or no. This is why it's incredibly important and responsible for all of us to answer the questions as accurately as possible. Listen, Mary, what medications are you taken, or have been prescribed but chosen not to take? Well, I went to an oncologist, but I didn't want to take that stuff. So, you're like, okay, well, this is on your record. So et cetera. So that's where this comes into play. NLG is no different. They just do a phenomenal job with IULs, cap rates. Thanks, Lane, for bringing that up and all the stuff. So Devon, how can they reach you? We've got bi-weekly trainings for FFL, and they can reach you many other places. Get the resources, guys. There's Devon's email. He's just fast. Throw it in, put that on the screen, please. And hit Devon up right there if you have any additional questions. But please show some gratitude to Devon. Huge releases, Rapid Protect, ITIN, face-to-face, drop a DM or an NLG. You pick whatever initials you're feeling. But show Devon some love. And thank him for coming on and educating us, because this is always fun. I mean, this is the fun part about the business, right? How much I would hope that everybody on here now feels more confident to talk about IULs, to represent NLG, and to know that you've got a great partner backing you up when you make sales, because this education, knowledge, and skills create your value to the marketplace. And today was a knowledge increase time. A good thing I would advise anyone that's out there as a leader of people, take this information you just learned, synapse it, and teach some of your agents so they can understand this stuff too, so you can learn it better. But thank you, everybody that's participating. Devon, any final thoughts you got for us?
Just want to say thank you, and I'll see you guys at Ignite. I genuinely appreciate the relationship, and anything we can do to help you, please let me know. But really, Grady, thank you for having me on. You are the best marketer in the industry, really.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you at Ignite. We'll have some fun then too. Thanks, Devon.
Bye, guys. See you.
All right, everybody. What's fun about this business is the continual progression. There's always something to learn. There's always a new angle, right? There's, many people are just cranking a final expense in term, and hey, man, there's this whole other IUL product and leads and things in the direction you can go. And we've got great carriers and great partners backing us up. And that's one of the values that you get to be at. How big do you want your business to get? How far do you want to go? How much do you want to create? How many people do you want to impact? And so I'm eternally grateful to this company, this industry, great relationships that we have with great people, and you choosing each and every day to get better. That's the hardest thing, is to wake up and crush that little nagging voice in the back of your head that goes, I don't feel like it, right? Forget that. Feel like it. Go make it happen. Thank you to Devon. Thank you to FFL. I'm proud of us here on the future. And here we go. This is a real good one. So watch this. This is your moment of Zen. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye for now.
Take a look at this graph. It shows the finishing times of marathon runners, and you'll notice something strange. Massive spikes just before key milestones, the 3-hour mark, 3:30, 4 hours. It's not because runners suddenly get faster at mile 25. It's because they see the target and empty the tank. Psychologists call it the goal gradient effect. The closer we get to a goal, the harder we push, because when the finish line is clear, your brain turns up the dial. That's the power of goals, and why vague intentions never move you.